Hello everyone, welcome to our today's Health Fellowship Hour. It's such a pleasure to have you together with my audience, both online and physical. Welcome so much. So today we are going to look at what we call Greenwald Children Care Package. Generally, we are going to look at kids nutrition. So what you feed your children to a large extent determines their health and dietary habits of life. So whatever, as a parent, you have a role on health of your child, depending on what you feed your child. Okay, depending on what you feed your child. For example, many children in African continent, they are malnutrition. When we say about malnutrition, what we mean is that there is a gap between what the body requires and what they are fed. As a parent, the time you spend nourishing your children properly may be the greatest contribution you can make to their development. So whatever you feed your child really matters to their life, either now or in the days to come. In today's snack culture, where children are eating a lot of snacks and the sweeteners, all the sweet things, in which children eat so much junk food, you have to be strong to help your children develop what we call good eating habits. How do you do that? We shall talk about that later. We move to the next. So today we are going to look at different deficiencies. Number one, we are going to look at vitamin A deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, calcium deficiency, zinc deficiency. We are going next. Let's start with vitamin A deficiency. And in here, we have a map that shows the deficiency in vitamin A. And I'll summarize it that about 250,000 to 500,000 malnutrition children in the developing world go blind each year from a deficiency of vitamin A, around half of whom die within a year of becoming blind. We move to the next. So vitamin A, let's look at vitamin A. Vitamin A is essential for vitamin A is essential for the eyes. It is also essential for immune system and also for the skin. Lack of it or deficiency of vitamin A causes what we call night blindness. That's what we have talked about. Vitamin A deficiency is the leading cause of preventable blindness in children and increases the risk of disease and death from severe infection. Vitamin A is essential for vision. We have said that vitamin A is essential for vision, immune system, and the skin. It is also needed for building healthy cells in the gut and in the brain. For children, lack of vitamin A causes severe visual impairment. That is what we call night blindness. And what is this? We are calling night blindness. Night blindness is the difficulty for the eyes to adjust to dim light. Affected individuals are unable to distinguish images in low levels of illumination. People with night blindness have poor vision in the darkness but see normally when adequate light is present. So whenever there is inadequate illumination, that's when they can't see. And this is a result of deficiency in vitamin A. It also, deficiency of vitamin A also increases the risk of severe illnesses. So that's why we have said vitamin A is essential for immune system. It boosts the immunity. So lack of it is the reverse, means that it reduces body's immunity or the ability of the body to fight against diseases and even causes deaths. We have seen that statistics. Where do we get this vitamin A? So vitamin A, the best source of vitamin A are breast milk. We know breast milk contains all the nutrients that a child or an infant needs, but we normally encourage that a child should be breastfed up to 6 months. So from 6 months, that's when we have what we call weaning, or when the child starts being fed with what we call the solid foods. So that's where now the gap comes in, the nutritional gaps comes in. Organ meats, milk fat, fish, we have kales, we have spinach, or what we are calling the leafy vegetables. We also have carrots, tomatoes, red bell pepper. Also vitamin A. Generally, vitamin A comes from eggs, meat, dairy products, and we can also talk about fruits and vegetables. Most of the families, especially in underdeveloped countries, especially in Africa, most families live below what we call the poverty line. So they are not able to afford this. Remember, our body has what we call RDA, or required daily allocation. So most of the families are not able to meet this gap. Therefore, that's where we have what we call the deficiency of vitamin A, and this causes, as I said, night blindness, skin infection, retarded growth. When we talk about retarded growth, is whereby you realize you can have an example like in the picture we have, two children who are born at the same time, but their height, they are not developing as fast as possible or as fast as they would, and also deprived immunity. So that's vitamin A. We move to the next one, vitamin D. Maybe this might be a question to most of us. In Africa, we experience a lot of sun, yet we have vitamin D deficiency. What could be the reason? So, in most the reason why we have vitamin D deficiency is, one, in most parts of Africa, the traditional diet is low in calcium. What is the correlation between vitamin D and calcium? So, vitamin D promotes the absorption of calcium. So, if the body has a deficiency in calcium, deficiency in vitamin D, that means that the body will not be able to absorb calcium. So vitamin D is directly related to calcium level in the body. We can move to the next one. So the reasons why we have vitamin D deficiency is, one, because of low calcium intake, and this means that in Africa, remember we are looking generally in Africa, Africans require 6 to 10 times as much exposure to the sun for the skin to produce vitamin D. What we are saying here is that our body can produce vitamin D, but it needs some help to produce it. That's why we say you should expose your body at least 10 to 15 minutes to the sunlight. Also, another reason of vitamin D deficiency is what we are calling infectious diseases. Also, we have skin pigmentation. We talked about this when we were talking about when we were talking about olive soap. As our skin has a color, so this is a result of it changing the color. Vitamin D is essential for normal growth and development. So for a child to grow, vitamin D is very, very essential. It helps the body absorb calcium, we have said that, which is important for development of strong bones. So for the bones, calcium has two main purposes, as we have learned earlier, for strong bones and for strong teeth. It has other functions like muscles and other, but for the strong bones, for a child to have strong bones, they need sufficient amount of calcium. And we have said that vitamin D promotes the absorption of calcium. Children with vitamin D deficiency are at a greater risk of, one, a condition we call rickets. Rickets in children. Also, this mostly affects the bones, and mostly the legs. We have bowed legs or knock knees, Both legs, you can see in our first diagram there, where we have the legs like this. We have others which are very close. The last one, the legs are very close. It also causes what we call retarded growth. We have seen also this in vitamin A deficiency. Also, it causes our bones to be very weak, the bones to be very weak. And when the bones are very weak, that means they are exposed to fractures and a condition we call osteoporosis. This is a type of arthritis. Vitamin D, where do we get this vitamin D? Apart from the sun, vitamin D is contained in foods like eggs, some fish, and a lot of milk and milk. So most milk is fortified with vitamin D. To fortify means that vitamin D is added there. Also, vitamin D is naturally given. We recommend that exposure to sunlight about 10 minutes a day will help the body to have what we call vitamin D. That's vitamin D. So in children, a deficiency of it, mostly in children, it causes what we call rickets. Let's go to iron deficiency. Iron deficiency. Iron. So in African countries, as we can see from the map there, move to the next slide. In African countries, as high as 56% of preschool children have anemia. When we say about preschool, mostly we are talking about children below the 5 years. They have what we call deficiency in iron, and iron deficiency has a serious long-term consequences for children. And one of the biggest consequences, we can move to the next one, next. And one of the biggest deficiency of iron in children, it causes a condition we call anemia. Another one, it causes increased susceptibility to infections. This means that your child is easy to be attacked by any infection. Also, it causes what we call fatigue, breathlessness. So your child may be losing breath, or what we call panting. Then we have hard swelling. The hands may be swelling. Then we have joint pain. We move to the next one, iron deficiency in children. Foot swelling. You may see your child has his or her foot is swelling. Back pain and jaundice. Jaundice, this is coloring, the yellow coloring of the skin. Also, in children, it causes what we call poor physical growth. Decreased appetite. You may realize your child, whenever he or she sees food, does not want to eat. The appetite is low. Reduced mental performance. Retardation of brain development. And so iron or deficiency of it causes so much in children. Although African children eat green leafy vegetable that is rich in iron, but because it is also rich in phytates that inhibits the iron absorption, that's caused the low bioavailability of the iron. So here, maybe I can explain this. One of the major source of iron is what we call the leafy vegetable, such as kales, spinach, broccoli, such as those. Whenever you are cooking these vegetables, most of the families, they overcook them, and when they are overcooked, that means that the iron in it is not sufficient. Another thing is poor farming methods. So this means that the food they eat, they are deficient in iron. Let's go to the next one, zinc. Zinc, I think we have talked about this earlier in one of our training, and about the zinc deficiency in children. And we say this, that zinc intakes are inadequate for about a third of the population. Imagine, a third of the population. They have what we call zinc deficiency and affects 40% of preschool children in Africa. And preschool means between 0 to 5 years. Zinc is commonly the most deficient nutrient in complementary food mixtures fed to infants during weaning. So a third of the population lacks what we call zinc, and zinc is very essential. It is one of the most important trace elements needed by your cells. So it helps your immune system. Immune system, this means that you boost your immunity and you make your body to be strong against any infection or any disease. And lack of it means that your body is more likely to suffer from conditions or from diseases. It aids in protein synthesis, cell reproduction, wound healing, and plays a major role in fertility and conception. We move to the next one, and conception, and among others. So mild zinc deficiency contributes to impaired physical and neurophysiological development and increased susceptibility to life-threatening infections in young children. This we have said. Zinc deficiency in children causes impaired growth and taste. Impaired growth, or what we have called retarded growth. Other symptoms include deficiency of zinc in children causes diarrhea. And you know, whenever someone is diarrheaing, this means they are losing a lot of water. So these will therefore cause what we call dehydration in children. Also, it causes, the lack of it causes weak immunity. Our body becomes weak and the resistance to diseases is reduced. So you may realize your child is easily or can easily get infection of flu, homa ambazo haziishi. Then we have weak immunity is an early symptom of zinc deficiency. I've said that. Also zinc delayed sexual maturation. We know every child has to go through what we call adolescence. So you may realize the lack of it or deficiency of zinc will cause what we call sexual maturation. And foods rich in zinc, we have oysters. These are what we call seafood. We have lamb. This is meat. We have eggs, pumpkin seeds, almonds, yogurt, beef, chicken, cashews. I want you to tell me how many families, especially in Africa, can afford those types of food, especially in their daily diet. So that means, that's why we have said that zinc is one of the most malnutrition nutrients in the world. So therefore, the need for, we go to the next one, for supplementation. This is the question we ask. Do we have solution for our children? And yes, we have. We have products that have been specifically, move to the next one, that have been specifically made for children to cater for the gap, or what we have called the nutritional gap for our children. One of the best products we have Super Nutrition, Blueberry Super Nutrition. It contains vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, protein, dietary fibers to children. So this Super Nutrition, as the word itself says, it is super, which means it contains everything that a child needs. And we can conclude that whatever our children are suffering from is because of nutritional gap. So this super nutrition will come and bridge in the gap to cater for that. We have another product we call blueberry juice. It provides vitamin, minerals to children. This one also, it contains the minerals that the children would need. We go to the next one. We have another product we call multivitamin. Multivitamin, mainly made up of very essential vitamins. We have all the vitamins that our body requires. So if the child has a deficiency of vitamin A, the gap will be breached there. Vitamin D will be there. Also, thanks to Greenwald, they have introduced calcium compound for children. This one is completely different from the calcium tablet for children. We know most of the children like what we call sweet things. They love something sweet. And this calcium compound, instead of it being in tablet form, it is now in powder form. So you just mix it with water and the child will take it as a juice. Even for the blueberry juice and for the super nutrition, they make sure it is something sweet so that the child will take it with ease. We also have zinc. This is a tablet. It is chewable. So the child will chew the tablet, zinc, and we have seen that zinc deficiency is one of the most common in Africa. And we have said it contributes to a lot of the population. So that means whether you have a child at home or your brother or your sister, they need this zinc supplementation. We also have another product which is not featured there. We call vitamin C. Vitamin C is good to boost immunity, and also supplementation of it is highly required. So from that, we can say Greenwald has catered for the children, especially not only for the malnutrition children, but for all the children that we have at home. So Greenwald caters for, in our previous slides, we had talked about children, we had talked about women and men care package. Also now, we include that, we can conclude that in Greenwald we have children care package. And this, as we started by saying, that diet is very important for children development, and it may determine their life now, also in adolescence, and also in their future. So thanks Greenwald for introducing our wonderful products for children. You can see them there. They are very happy and they are very healthy. Also this one, the supplementation of this will reduce the cost that you will incur when taking them to the hospital, also missing schools, and being susceptible to different health conditions. So we are found here at the marketplace. Marketplace is opposite KWFT along Nakuru Nairobi highway, Nakuru Naivasha highway. Our shop is open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and we have health fellowship hour every day from 5:30 to 6:30. Tomorrow will be a great day. Today we have talked about children, so tomorrow we talk about the adolescents, or what we call teenagers. So thank you very much for your time. Bye. Yes. Wednesday we have our training at 10 a.m. to 12:30 to 12 p.m. For the distributors. For the visitors, it starts from 12:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Bye.